to the Excuse Buster Show, where we break through what gets in your way of feeling how you want to feel and living the life you want to live. I'm Lizzie Williamson, and if clutter, disorganization, or any kind of chaos is holding you back, then you want to tune into this episode, because my amazing guest today is an expert accredited professional organizer. What a cool title is that. She is the founder of Decluttering Diva and a personal trainer of order. Two personal trainers on the couch here, right? Gotta love that. And she is going to teach us, as she does with all her clients around the world, how to get you the skills that you need to declutter, also the things that you need to organize your space, and also what I reckon is best of all, how to actually keep it that way.
That's the hard
bit. I desperately need some of the wisdom that this amazing woman next to me has to share. And I've just come from my daughter's athletics carnival, and every other mum said there that they needed it as well. This is Kristina Duke.
Hi!
Oh, thank you for having me over.
Oh, I'm so stoked to have you over.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome to my home.
Thank you. So when someone says to you, what do you do? And you say you're an expert accredited professional organiser.
Yep.
What do you hear most people say back to you?
Can you come and fix my husband? And I go, oh, kind of, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, that's usually the first thing they say is, oh my gosh, I totally know someone who needs you. And that's, I guess, the thing that I love is that if everyone out there in the big bad Facebook world could know, everybody's struggling with it. Everyone, like, I don't think I've ever met someone who has gone, oh no, I don't need you.
Yeah.
There's always, there's always something you can tweak, even when you're pretty organised. So that's probably the biggest thing I get.
Yeah.
Fix my husband.
And all my troubles will be over. Love that. So why do you think so many of us struggle with the clutter and the disorganisation?
I think the biggest reason is it's kind of like when you're doing weight loss. We all want these quick fixes. We want to go on that quick fad diet, and then we think it's just going to magically go away. Yes. And it's just like weight loss. That's why I parallel I'm a personal trainer, because it's exactly the same. It's all this head thing. It's actually nothing to do with what you eat. It's got nothing to do with your stuff. It's all got to do with here. And if here's messed up, it doesn't matter what you do. You'll keep having the same problems. So you got to stop doing these crash diets of, decluttering, because it's not going to work. So you can fold like Marie Kondo, and you can have Peter Walsh come to your house, or all these, different people you see, and you think, oh, that's fantastic. But the reality is you've got to figure out what in here is why you do the things that you do. The same as why we don't exercise and eat the right food.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same. Exactly the same. So I think that's the biggest reason. And I think because people want that quick fix, because our society right now, we're just all after the quick. We're not willing to put the work in. It takes work. It takes work to get a six-pack. It takes work to get an organised home. It doesn't happen overnight. I've been doing this a really long time. I started when my children were very young, and now I have this. I'm lucky now. My kids have learnt these habits, and I don't have to nag all the time. But I took a lot of work at the beginning. So yeah. That makes sense, right?
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah. What is it that happens to us, do you think, psychologically, I suppose? What's the effect in our lives when we are living in a state of chaos and disorganisation?
We are stressed, where we've got less time. We're feeling like this all the time, that anxiety, because we're like, where is it? What is it? What am I doing? Our heads just feel backwards when we're trying to go forwards. And that's just us. And then we've got our kids and our husband and other people around us, and it all compounds and compounds and compounds. So it's just I won't say constant stress, but it's an added stress that we just don't need, do we?
Okay.
Just don't need. And it's that thing that when kids go to school, when your kid has, they have these really disciplined schedules at school, it's this time's reading time, this time's assembly, kids love structure. They love to know what they're supposed to be doing. And us as parents were like, oh, let them be free. And I'm like, well, free to an extent, but they actually know that there's a consequence for an action, and I need to do, and this will happen, and this will happen.
Yes.
So yeah, stress. And we just don't need any stress. So if we can alleviate some stress by having like that one place to put the keys, or the one place where the shopping list goes, or the one place, that's just one less thing we have to worry about.
So what have you seen the difference, say, in your life now that you haven't done the quick fix, you've worked and worked and worked to now, and also I guess in all your clients' lives as well? Like what's the ripple effect? What happens?
The ripple effect is there's an understanding before you've even like started. So for instance, my kids, so they're a bit older, they're in their teens, so they, as I said, they've learned a little bit, but there's just like, okay, this is how it goes. So for instance, we have a rule, like if you finish something, it goes on the shopping list. You write it on the shopping list yourself. So I don't eat Nutella, so why should I write it on the shopping list?
Okay.
Like I'm not going to check every little food item that everyone else eats.
Great tip. So anyone who finishes something writes it on the shopping list. Okay.
Now, my kids
got that tip number one. One of many.
My kids forgot, they've forgotten to write, for instance, Nutella, which was one of their favourite things. I'm not an advocate of it, but it's something they like as a treat. And I didn't buy it. I knew they needed it. I know, we us mums know, but I'm not going to buy it.
Yeah.
And then they come home and they see the grocery and they're like, why didn't you buy the Nutella? And I'm like, wasn't on the list. And they learn, okay, I've got to do the right thing. And it's happened enough that, when Nutella's out, it's on the first thing on the list now.
Yeah.
They'll never let that one run out. But that's that kind of, those sort of things when there's an action and then there's a reaction afterwards. So my clients start seeing, when I pick up my things little by little and it doesn't build up to get, the closed chair that everyone has in their room where they're like, I just put that thing I wore once and then it's once and then before you know it, it's like the whole wardrobe's on the chair.
Or it's all the clean washing pile up. My husband's a washaholic. And so then we just get the washing, the clean washing just there fast and fast. And then the cat sits on top of it.
And then you like, do I have to redo it? And then it all goes. But they see if you do little bits all the time, it's like, it doesn't get so... There's not that anxiety. It's actually not too big a job when you break things down. So my clients have seen like where running a house is a big job, right? When you think about the whole component. But when you break it down, it's like, I can manage that. And it's just like any, when you're working in a big corporate environment, you have these massive projects, they make you break it down to tasks. So why don't we do that with our houses? Why do we go, I have to clean the whole house on Saturday? Why don't we do that to ourselves? So overwhelming. And we're like, I just want to die.
Yeah.
I don't want to die. I just want to get it done. But it's fun. You're going to make it fun like you did with putting music on yesterday. Yeah, it's a great one. I love doing that. Music makes everything better. So yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. You just get to start seeing that you're empowered and you can. Because I think half the time as mums, we're so critical of ourselves. And the more and more that you can see that you can, the more and more you stop, telling yourself you suck at being a parent or a mum or a housekeeper or all the things that we think we've got to be able to do excellently, which we don't.
Yeah.
I don't have to be excellent at everything. It's too hard. It's too hard. So yeah, I think that's the best bit. Yeah, my clients start getting confidence again. My house has confidence. When you're running around with 3 kids under 5, you're not feeling confident. Yeah. You're feeling frazzled. And the more and more that you get those systems happening, you get confident. You're like, okay, we can do this. We can do this. And everything gets easier.
So systems.
Okay.
Because often I guess, and the mums we're talking to at the athletics carnival, you're like, but we do the big clean up and do the big declutter and the car's filled to the brim with stuff for the op shops and then a month later it's all back to how it was. Yeah. So you think these systems are the key?
It's systems. It's having like regular little things. So I don't, oh my God, if I tried to declutter a whole house, if I work with a client, that takes months. So why would I expect for my own house it's going to work? And I'm not got a professional organiser with me all the time. So for instance, in my house, we have like a regular thing. Every school holidays, we go through the kids' wardrobes. And now that started because the kids grow so fast, so we had to go through them. The second thing was I have 2 girls. They like to shop. Do you like to shop? And so they go, I need... And I go, really? Do you need? And I go, let's go through and see what you've actually got, what fits, doesn't fit. And then we do our shopping list based on what was there. To me, that made logical sense. So many people go shopping for clothes and other things without doing the look first. And then what happens is they come home and they've got, I already had 10 pairs of black leggings or whatever.
They were shoved in the back of the wardrobe
and they just keep shoving them in. So we started that, and it's funny, again, my kids have become so ritualistic with it. They're like, oh, school holidays, time to clean out the wardrobe.
Okay.
And they know that they can't go shopping. We can't, you can't put on the shopping list what you're needing until we've done the edit and figured out what we need.
So you don't get more stuff. So
Until you get rid of the other stuff.
So it's a pre-shopping edit.
It's a pre-shopping edit. But what happens is, again, I'm one of those mums who I would love my kids to fold their clothes kind of pedantically. I mean, that's my thing. I had to let that go. I mean, I've got other things to do. So I let them do their own laundry all term, and they fold them to their standard, which is not always my standard. But I go, that's fine. And then every school holidays, I get to go in and do it my way, which is a little bit more pedantic, and I'm fine with that. And we refold it all, and it's all beautiful, and it's all edited and gorgeous. And then it can I won't say let slide, but let it happen in the term, because I can't be checking that every day.
No.
I got big things to do. I got diva things to do. I got diva things to do. So things like that. You have these little habits that you start doing, and so maybe it's like you do when you're brushing your teeth, you like to do the squats. So when I'm doing my brushing my teeth, I'm checking like all the medicines maybe once a week to see if they're out of date or something like that, or checking my makeup to see if there's something I know I've had for ages and I go, oh, I probably should get rid of that.
So you're toothbrushing declutter.
Yeah.
Okay, that's another good one.
So I mean,
as you're squatting.
But it's like when you're doing one thing, like have a look. So if you're like making a cup of tea while the kettle's boiling, why not go through your coffee cups and see if there's any you could edit? And then while you're boiling the pasta and you're standing there anyway, why not go through all the herbs and chuck out the ones that are expired? And you do these little things, and not ritualistic, but it just while you're there anyway.
We are sisters from another Mr. Man. We are like,
which is why I love your thing.
And that's why I love you too.
It makes total sense. I'm like, why not do opportunistic, decluttering or exercising? Because I don't have time to actually sit and book in a whole day to declutter my house.
Yes, so this is where we're going wrong, isn't it? Like you're saying, this is what you mean why we're looking for the big things rather than these little daily things.
Just like you're accumulating exercise. That's why I thought when I met you, I went, this is perfect. Because we do have it's the same idea. Mums, we're busy. So we've got to be smart about it. And so we've got to think, okay, what can I do that's not going to eat up my diary? But that's still making me, but it's that thing about being mindful while you're doing things. So we could just sit there and check Facebook. I love your Facebook, but seriously, we could check Facebook, or we could do some mindful decluttering while we're doing something else. I mean, every time I do my groceries, pretty much, I do that quick little declutter of the fridge.
Okay.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Why would you put stuff away into a dirty fridge? Why would you shove the sauces back and see that there's others? And it just doesn't to me make logical sense. And so it's that shift in your brain and going, instead of just keep shoving, let's just have a little edit every now and then.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
That makes sense?
Totally, yeah. So the bathroom, you're brushing your teeth. When you get the shopping, that scan through your fridge, what is it that you need to bring forward?
Yeah, just do that little, take some stuff out, do the thing, give it a little wipe down. It takes like 2 seconds. And if you're doing that every week, or like maybe every even second week or whatever it is, it's not overwhelming. But most people leave it till the fridge has got like food crawling out of it. And they're like, oh crap, I better clean the fridge. And so they're doing and they pull everything out, and it's all overwhelming, and they're crying, and then the phone rings, doesn't it? Phone rings, everything's on the counter, and they're like, oh no, what are we gonna do? And they shove it back
in. The fridge is going beep, beep, beep.
Exactly. It's just doing little bits. I mean, my clients, most of them, what they've done is the same thing that all your friends sound like they've done. They call me and they say, oh, I went to do my wardrobe and I pulled everything out, and I went, oh, like my face. And they're like, what do you mean? I said, why did you do that? And they said, well, I've got to take it all out. I said, but what if the phone rings? What if a kid cries? What if they're like, what do you mean? I said, and then what did you do? And they said, oh, well, it was all too much, and I shoved it all back in. And I go, and that's where we're at. So why not, instead of shoving it all out into the bed, why don't we just do the sock drawer? And let's do the t-shirts another week, and then let's do our shoes another week. Let's just do a little bite-sized amount, just like we try to bite off our weight in little, let's bite off our clutter weight. And that way you're decluttering for long term. You're making, it's like life changes rather than a crash diet. I think it's, the parallels are incredibly uncanny.
So when you say to them, okay, this is, you do your wardrobe, it's this, I mean, do you sort of say, okay, do one thing every day? Do you schedule it out a bit?
It totally depends on the client. So if you've got the time, do 15 minutes a day, you know, like the same we talk about doing, you know, let's do 30 minutes of exercise a day. Let's do 30 minutes of organising / decluttering a day / cleaning. I mean, you could put any category you want. But if you can't fit that, let's do 5 minutes. Let's start really little, like 5 minutes, 2 minutes. You'd be amazed what you can get done in 2 minutes. I find this one of those challenges I like to do with my clients. So I bet you all out there in Facebook world have that basket with all the odd socks that you've procrastinated doing because you think it's going to take forever, right? And the same sounds like your husband. He does all the laundry and then doesn't fold it.
Yeah.
So we put these.
So we appreciate
we
doing
do. We
all
love you.
the
Thank you.
laundry. Thank you very much.
Just finished the job.
Who's watching?
But everyone says to me, oh, you know, it takes too long to fold the socks. And okay. How long do you think it's going to take? And they go, 20 minutes. And I'm like, oh, okay. I said, all right, well, we're going to do it now. And we're going to put the timer on, and we do it. And I don't actually do it, otherwise that would change the time. And they do it. And it takes, I'd say 3 minutes. And you see them go, 3 minutes. And I said, you procrastinated that literally for 6 months. 3 minutes. Most of the things that we need to do, like declutter-wise, actually don't take very long. But we build them up in our heads to be massive jobs. Massive! It's just going to be too hard. But if you're doing just a shelf of books or a drawer of something, it's 2 minutes. It's a little bag of stuff to take, just, you know, salvos or the recyclers or whatever you're going to do. And then it's like, you realise it's not actually overwhelming. And I think it's like, it's that good old mantra, how do you eat an elephant, you know, one bite at a time. You just can't, you cannot look at the whole house. It is too overwhelming. But a whole house is, you got to think that's a lifetime of messes you've been making. So we've got to think about it logically. I'm not going to fix all of my bad habits. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to make
that one.
Yeah.
Your timer one, I got that from you. My kids love that one.
Love the timer. Timers are the best.
Yeah.
It's all about challenging what your mind's thinking about it, because our minds are very, very deceptive. They tell us we can't do it fast enough, we can't do it good enough, it's going to take too long. We're very negative. And the minute that you start challenging it, what your mind's saying to yourself, and you start challenging it, your mind starts reconnecting with positive. It just automatically does. I can do that. That won't take very long.
Yeah.
And then you start thinking that way about everything, and then you're taking over the world, which is what I love to do.
Yeah.
One drawer at a time. That's my mantra, taking over the world one drawer at a time.
It's brilliant. What do we do about all these knicky-knacks that seem to end up in the house, especially if you've got kids? I remember doing Airbnb, and just at the end, just having this pile of knicky-knacks and pretty much being there sobbing because it's like, I can't handle all the knicky-knacks that end up in our homes.
I think it's just like anything. The kids go through stages. We go through stages. There's those beautiful homeware stages that we go through. Ooh, rose gold's in. Ooh, this is in. Oh, that's in. And sometimes we keep things because we actually generally like them. Often we just keep them because we've forgotten that we had them. Then we get whatever the new phase is. And kids are the same with their toys and their stuff. They have toys that they play with, and then there's things that they stop playing with, and we just keep shoving them in a box and shoving them in a box. And you just have to attack it. I mean, my house doesn't have a lot of knickknacks. It's not because I'm not sentimental. It's because I've made the choice. Maybe it's because I had to dust all my mum's knickknacks. I've become averse to them. I don't know. Reverse psychology, my mum did. I don't know. But I just go, sometimes you can't see the trees for the forest when you have too many pretty things. So, I don't know, just take one pillow off. Take one, and maybe if you can't do it straight away. So I do this especially when it's things that aren't mine that I'm decluttering. So when I'm doing a kid's space or my husband's, and I know I shouldn't take their things without asking. So it's the same for all you mums. Don't take your kids' stuff without asking.
Oh, haven't we all that story?
Oh, yeah.
Mum, where's that big giant plastic thing, Barbie dream house thing that I haven't played with for a year?
We do it all the time.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't put it out on the street and see someone else take it.
So maybe try this one. Take away some stuff, but don't take it away. Like, maybe just hide it.
And don't put it out on the street.
Don't put it out on the street.
Mummy phone.
Put a piece of masking tape on it with a date, like for say maybe in 3 months' time.
Yeah.
And so you can keep track, because I'm sure you'll be doing this regularly. And at 3 months' time, And if no one's asked about the things in that bag, then you can go, I feel free to let that go. So, I mean, I've done this with husband's clothes. I'm better. I don't do it much anymore because he's pretty good at it. He's learning. But I used to like, oh my gosh, his things are disgusting. I just have to go through it. But I have to be respectful that this is his, and we all have different, we're not all on the same track. So that's a way to do it, especially when the kids are young and you can't always get them involved in it. But the biggest thing is to get everyone else involved.
Okay, talk us through this. This is really good. I know you're really into this.
Seriously, I think mums out there, we all have this agenda. We want our houses to be whatever, but we don't actually sit down with a family and communicate it. Family meetings, so important, where you get, okay, we're all on the same page. You might have to not always have it your way. Just because your mum doesn't mean it has to be always your way. So your kids might, you know, say, oh, but we really like to have, okay, let's negotiate. And then you get as a team making these things happen. I'm very blessed now, as I say, because I've been doing this for such a long time, that my kids have learned. My son did this the other day. He didn't like the dinner I made him. Now, most 13-year-old boys would complain to their mother, would they not? My son said, oh, Mum, thanks for cooking dinner. Wasn't my favourite, but could I cook dinner tomorrow instead? And I went,
oh,
parenting win. When you start getting the kids involved in things like cooking and doing the grocery list and whatever else, and doing their laundry, they start to appreciate the job that you've done. And instead of complaining, because why would they complain? You're just going to give them more. They then go, oh, well, I don't like it. I could always change the situation. But that's because I've worked on really hard on helping them change a mindset of being entitled and thinking that I'm just here to do everything for them. But I've also been very respectful of their rooms are their rooms, and they don't have to be organised to my standard. But my space, my lounge room, oh, that's my space. You guys don't bring your clutter in here. So we have like rules. You know, you clear the table when you finish with it, but your room can be pretty much, unfortunately, pretty much as messy as they like it because it's their room.
And this is discussed in the family meetings. This is what I expect of you. This is what we expect of each other.
We negotiate. You know, there's a negotiation. So they're like, well, we don't want you to come in and clean our rooms while we're at school because, you know, you do it your way. And I go, I understand. You don't all have the Decluttering Diva gene. I don't know how they missed it, but that's okay. But we do that thing in the school holidays, so I get it to my standard enough and I can let it go. I do make them clean their rooms. It's just not to my standard. But yeah, it's all about communication. And I think sometimes, like I said, the wives are always, oh, I'll get my husband on board. And I'm like, I can't really fix your husband. And so you've got to all work together. This is a family unit. And it's the same with, anything like exercise. If you make it communal, then it doesn't become a chore, it becomes a family activity.
And you don't have that resentment, I suppose, as well, that can build up. You're like, I'm the one doing everything around here.
And it doesn't become like a you versus them. It's like you're a team. And I think that,
team's good.
Team's the way to go. I've got a business to run and you need to do and this, that to do. We've all got our different agendas, but I need them as much as they need me. Like if you look at your kids as not slaves, but if you use them for good rather than evil, it actually can go really well. My dad always joked he had children just so he had people to help with the chores. But I think kids these days, oh man, I can't tell you how many kids don't know how to do things. But if they can run a mobile phone, they know how to run a washing machine.
Totally. It's like when you get a teenage babysitter, the difference between the one that cleans up and does stuff and the difference that doesn't. Like, I'm going to pay you double because you've actually been taught that that's part of what you have to do.
Clean up. Yes, cleaning is so good. So good.
Cleaning,
not just say that I'm a clean freak. Like, please understand. I wrote on my post, I was like, oh, the pressure of people coming over. My house is no show home. It doesn't have a lot of clutter, but it still gets dirty as everybody else. I'm not about clean all the time, but it's about living, enjoying, not nagging all the time. You want to it's a community, and maybe I think we've kind of shut ourselves up, and because we're so nuclear than the older families used to be. We're so nuclear that we think we have to do everything on our own. We think as mums we have to achieve everything, and I'm like, no, like reach out to other mums, reach out to your kids. It's that, I don't know, I think we've kind of lost something that used to be there in the olden days. We've lost something, and I think we need to stop thinking we have to be able to do everything and everything has to be perfect. and that our homes don't have to always look like show homes. And the one thing I really want everyone to know is if you've got a clutter problem and you're embarrassed to have a friend over, like that's really how, like you really get that bad. Know that the person you're having over, I'll almost guarantee it, they don't give a crap if you've got stuff on the counter. They come to see you and have a cup of tea. And I think we sometimes isolate ourselves, just as we do when we've had babies and we're feeling overwhelmed. We isolate ourselves out of embarrassment, but our real friends, they don't care about that stuff. They don't care if we have a tummy roll, or they don't care if we've got some clutter on the counter. They want to be there for us, and they I see a lot of my clients are very isolated because they've done that to themselves, trying to protect. And I'm like, oh, let people in. You'll feel better, because communities, it's huge.
Yeah,
that's why I love this, isn't it? Great when you get people talking and having conversation and realizing you're not all alone.
Yes, totally.
Even if you're just sitting on your phone, but you're not alone.
So there's a few things here. There's a bit of lowering expectations, and then when you're looking around at your house, going, "Oh my goodness, there is just always clutter here, always disorganization," rather than going up too hard. Pick a little thing, and then tomorrow maybe pick another little thing and another little thing.
It doesn't have to be massive, and then what happens is it builds on. So I'll tell you a funny story about one of my clients. Serious clutter problem, like they had a kitchen counter that probably a foot high in paper. It was pretty bad.
The drawer, that's the
yeah, but it was literally this counter, and they hadn't seen the kitchen bench top for a really long time. And we cleared the counter in one of those in a 3-hour session, and they were all like, oh my gosh. And we found like a wedding certificate in there, and we found like the marriage certificate, we found gift vouchers, we found all this stuff, lots of rubbish, and got it all organised. And the funny bit was I came back a couple of weeks later, and we were going to work on another space, and the counter was still clear, and there was this beautiful bunch of flowers on the counter. I said, wow, that's really impressive, you've kept up with it. And she said, well, it became a competition. Like if someone put something on there, it was like who was the first to quickly take it off. And so you have that thing. So when you build, like, say it's one little space, you then build on it, and it becomes you as a community can build on it, and you kind of make games about it. I mean, I'm always talking about how to get the kids involved, but if you're making it fun, so if, I don't know, you found like a funky hook or something to put the keys on, and the kids all go, you gotta put the keys on the hook, and they make some funny noise, and you always remember, don't forget the keys on the hook, and it just becomes this, it's a game.
Yeah.
And then the game, that becomes then the ritual, and because what does it take, 28 days, something like that, to make a habit form? So do that for a month, that's down, and you build on to the next thing, and who knows what it is. You can just keep going and going. But there's, I don't know, it's about, it is lowering expectations. The things that you see on Pinterest, I'm always going on about this, the stuff you see on Pinterest, that's not life. Those people, you haven't seen all the filters that have gone on beforehand, and all the stuff that's behind the camera that they've pushed out of the picture to make sure that little tiny bit that they took, that's not reality.
Yeah.
It's not reality. And most organisers, like professional organisers like me, we don't actually try to achieve that, because that's not going to work for people who have clutter problems. That might work for people who live in a showroom, and that's about it. It doesn't work because it's too high. It's too high an expectation to make sure that everyone puts back everything, that it's exactly the way it was.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just got to get thrown in a basket.
Yeah, totally.
Let it go.
So these systems, before we get to, I want you to share like a couple more top systems. Before we do, where can everyone find you? Where do you like to go?
I service Sydney. I'm in the North Shore, but I go all the way out the west, up to the Central Coast, out to the beaches, my favourite place, and down to about the bridge. There's some of them, no offence, but below the bridge, you're a different breed of people. No, parking's horrendous.
Who wants to go over?
Who wants to go over the bridge? But yeah, pretty much an hour radius of Hornsby, I will go. And I mean, I do people outside of area. I do virtual sessions for people.
Awesome.
And that's really fun. Sometimes, I mean, it's a challenge because you're not physically able to do some things, but if you're self-motivated enough, I can make you work. I can make it happen. Yeah. And because it's up here, it's a mindset change. Once you have a conversation with sometimes it just, you can see that little light bulb click on, and they're like, that's it. I can do that.
Yeah.
And that's it. Get the light bulb going.
Yes.
Get the light bulb going.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sydney.
Okay, great.
But the world.
And Decluttering Diva, there's the Facebook places there.
Facebook, website, everywhere. You Google me, you'll find me.
Yeah, it's a brilliant name, by the way. Yeah.
Well, I'm a diva not by nature, but I'm a diva because I'm a singer, so that's where that came from. But I'm not going to sing for you. But I do sing. I do sing while we work often because it's so much fun.
Yeah,
often it's Elsa's Let It Go because it's just so appropriate.
Such a good song for what you do.
It's a little bit fun.
Yeah. You're like a clutter buster as well.
Yeah.
I was on the way here and I was thinking about you. It's like a bit of, you're there and you got the clutter and the disorganization. It's like, who are you going to call?
Yes.
Decluttering Diva.
It's just so much fun to see people, like, their lives change over something simple. I wanted to be a therapist. I wanted to be a counsellor.
Oh, wow.
And I guess I was frustrated at the idea of sitting on a couch with someone and not knowing if they'd actually action it. And this is something where you're still getting that. There's still an element of psychology and helping and life coaching, whatever word you want to use, that you're doing, but you're actually physically helping something. So you walk away going, I know that drawer's better. I know that space is better. I can't necessarily have changed everything in their mindset today, but that little thing will help. And then they can build on that and build on that. And it's very satisfying. Very satisfying knowing that you're making a change. And it seems superficial, but it's so not.
Yeah.
You all know that.
Yeah.
It's so superficial, but it's huge at the same
it's
time.
massive impact. Yeah. So let's give us a couple more of these systems. You know what I mean? So we've got we've cleared the wardrobe, the kitchen bench, the kids stuff, the systems to keep it under control.
Well, there's the good old, and I have a box at my front door all the time. There's the good old have a charity box somewhere in the house at all times.
Nice.
All times. I have it at the front door. It is always got something in it. And you think, oh, but she's decluttered. But my kids' feet grow, things wear out, I change my fashion scent, whatever it is, you get a new kitchen thing. So have a space where things can go for charity, always. Whether it's hidden in your wardrobe. I prefer it to be actually a bit more central, not in an ugly place, but, a bit more central. And just something grows out, that kids know to put it there. You've finished, you've had your way with something, you're done, give it on to somebody else.
Yeah.
And there's a place, and when it fills up, take it to the car. And it's a little tiny thing. Well, I say it's a little thing, but it's a habit of putting it away and putting it in there instead of going, oh, I'll just shove it back in the cupboard and I'll deal with it when I do my big declutter day.
Yeah.
You're doing little bits all the time.
Love this one.
It's much
Okay,
easier.
totally going to do that.
So have a place, near the front door, somewhere central, not messy, but you can make it work.
Yeah.
You all have your other ideas about what to do. The biggest one is to, I have like a Sunday check-in time. Everyone can have a different day. But that time where you're looking at your schedule and you're getting the kids' stuff and you're thinking, all right, what's up ahead? And you're getting your head around the next week. Because I think sometimes we're just flying by the seat of our pants.
Yeah.
And then we hit Sunday and we're, busy doing family stuff, whatever. And then Monday comes and we're like, oh crap.
I need that note and I need that money for that thing.
And we're behind the 8 ball before we even started. So for me on Sunday, it's very much a no work, it's downtime. And I check in with the kids, what have you got on? Okay, this is going to be a really busy week. So I plan meals accordingly that are really easy meals, and I write the shopping list accordingly, and I get them to clean out the car. Because if you leave anything in my car over the weekend, it's in the charity store on Monday, so you better be careful.
Awesome.
So it's like cleaning out the car. It's just that check-in with yourself and the family and getting your head around the next week. I think sometimes we just keep going, and then we don't stop and take a pause. Gotta take a pause.
Yeah.
What else do I do? I'm trying to think of that. Some things are so, like, I've been doing them for so long, they just do it by natural, and I forget that that's not really unnatural for everybody else.
Yeah.
I think it's, let's see, so we've done like regular times with kids' wardrobes in particular.
Yes, we've done when you're cleaning your teeth, the bathroom, same when you're in the kitchen, just doing a little something. Yeah. You've given us a lot of good stuff.
I think in general, it's just it's just that mindful thing. So it's like when you're shopping, for instance, think, if I bring this home, where is it going to go? I think so many people, they buy stuff and then they come home and they can't find a home for it. So it sits in that place where things go to die, whether it's the spare room or the dining table or the counter, And it's that thinking before you make the purchase, because half the problems are the stuff that we're bringing in, right?
Yeah,
it's not really the stuff that's already here.
We buy for the kids
stuff.
and that's
So it's that being more mindful when you're thinking about purchasing. Like, is that actually going to work? Will I actually use that? And if you're not going to, maybe just think, like, put it back and come. And if you're still dying for it in 24, 48 hours, then go back and get it. But man, so many things get brought in, and it's just because we're almost too lazy to find what we already have in the house.
Yeah.
How many potato peelers do we really need, people?
I know.
How many cutting boards? Oh, but that one's so pretty. Well, then chuck out the other one. Like, we just can't keep accumulating.
Yeah.
I think you need to have, the other big system thing I've always had with my kids is a central place for school notes.
Okay.
Most is probably online now. Most of the schools are getting pretty good. But if you don't know where the notes are going to go, or the schoolwork should go, or the lunch boxes should go, then how the hell are the kids going to know?
Yeah.
I'll never forget it. She was like my first client. She said, so the kids never put their bags away. And I said, so where's away? And she goes, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I went,
yeah.
So you have to think about that kind of thing. So we had a system, and it was, you unpack your bag, the school notes went, and it was an in tray on the kitchen counter. Doesn't work for us anymore, but used to when they were little. So an in tray, and then the lunch boxes went here, and this and that, and they just knew.
Yeah.
And so there was no excuses. We've never had a rotten banana or apple at the bottom of our school bags, because we always unpack it all the way to the end. But the biggest thing this has been my new catchphrase for this year, is to organise to the lowest denominator.
Okay.
So if you have a 2-year-old in the house, let's organise like it's a 2-year-old. Sometimes it's for the husband. Sorry, husbands, but some of you are pretty clueless. But if you've got older, if you've all got it together, you don't have to label everything. Just label what, the only real things you need to label probably self-raising flour and flour, because they look exactly the same, but you can't tell. Everything else, we kind of know what they are without labeling. So don't label everything just because everyone else on Pinterest is doing it. But it's organising to that lowest denominator. So just keeping that really, really simple. If a 2-year-old can do it, the 5-year-old can do it, then everybody can do it. People go, what do you mean? I'm like, well, okay, let's go with toys. I know some of you mums, you see these very, very pretty toy rooms, and you get them so complicated how you've got to organise it. Like, Lego's going to be put back with blue and yellow. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm exhausted looking at that. How do you do that? Or it's like all the puzzles are neatly done in some thing, and they've all got label. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So if a 2-year-old can put it away, if that's what your age group is, let's just organise it to that level. You can always raise the stakes as people learn, but let's start really, really simple. And it could be, as I say, it could be just dumping the bags all in a particular place, and then next time it's hanging the bags on a hook. We can step it up every time. But let's go easy. Start easy.
And get the kids involved. The whole family involved.
You have to. You cannot do everything on your own. It's just too much. I mean, if you're working, you're working. If you're not working, you're still working.
Yeah.
So let's just give ourselves a break.
Oh,
let's just keep it simple, because I think we just want to we complicate it too much.
Yeah.
The same as the idea of getting fit and stuff. We're like, oh, I've got to do this, and it's like, just eat well and, do some exercise because it makes you happy. Oh, okay. When you say it like that, it's not so hard, is it?
Well, everything you said today has made it all feel not so hard.
It's not that hard.
And we have had tips galore. Top tips are us.
We should probably write them all down for you all.
Yeah, we can do that. And just to know that the little things that you can do, actually, the achievable things that end up making a really big difference. This has been awesome. I have so much wisdom. I'm just letting this all seep into my body. I hope you have too. What have you taken out of this episode with the Decluttering Diva? What are you going to implement? Leave a little message in the comments there so you get a little bit of accountability. We can continue the conversation there. And if you'd like this episode into your inbox, then go to 2minutemoves.com/live TV, pop in your details there, and I shall send it to you. Be sure to share this episode or tag someone who you've been watching going, oh, such and such really needs to hear that, which is what you hear so many people say, or maybe their husband, and they need to do it for their husband. Whatever it is, we would love to keep talking to you. Thank you so much for being here with us on the Excuse Buster Show. We will see you for another episode very, very soon. Bye! Thank you. You're awesome.